Meet the black mamba. Fast, furious, and armed with venom that can take you out faster than your ex's breakup text. Hello my squishies and welcome to the Rambling of a Loon. In this video we'll talk about why the black mamba is the ultimate no-pro. Listen, this forbidden gummy worm is arguably the most notorious and iconic snake in the world, and in this video I'm going to tell you why they're so feared. First up, they're large. They're very large. In fact, they're the second largest venomous snake in the world. They have an average length of around 8'2", but they can reach a max of 15 feet. That's a unit. That's a behemoth. Although black mambas can reach up to 15 feet, these days specimens over 12 feet are rare. I don't know why, but there seems to be some sort of shrinkflation happening with these black mambas. Reason number 2, they're agile. Mambas are very agile because they are partly arboreal. This means that they're both land-dwelling and tree-dwelling. If you compare a black mamba to an anaconda, you'll notice they're not as full-bodied. More streamlined, if you will. Their slimmer bodies actually make them more agile, which makes them a very athletic snake. If you combine that with their length, you have a massive snake that can climb you like a tree. Maybe you're into that, I don't know. But I feel like most people would be horrified if a black mamba suddenly decided they were a jungle gym. Another reason why black mambas are so feared is their speed. Black mambas are the second fastest moving snakes in the world. They can reach speeds of up to 20 kilometers an hour or 12 miles per hour. I don't know about you, but I can't run that fast. Mostly because I don't really run, but also I'm slow, and I have short legs. But that's not the point. The point is mambas are very fast, okay? Mambas are proof that nature said, what if we made a snake with turbo mode and a bad attitude? In their defense, they are defensive due to the environment. This is Africa, everything tries to eat you. Reason number 4 why black mambas are so feared is their venom. Black mambas have a potent combination of neurotoxic and cardiotoxic venoms. The neurotoxic compound works to paralyze you, which basically means that you're not able to expand your diaphragm and so you suffocate to death, while the cardiotoxin actually attacks your heart muscles. If that's not bad enough, they also have very fast-acting venom. A black mamba bite can cause severe breathing problems within 30 minutes, and depending on where they've bitten you, can actually perish within 45. To make matters worse, they're known to strike multiple times. Now, their fangs contain up to 20 drops of venom per fang, and for reference, you only need 2 drops to kill an adult. You may have noticed that black mambas have a coffin-shaped head. That's nature being kind enough to give us a heads up that this snake is not to be truffled with. And if that doesn't do the trick, their pitch black mouth should send the message. If that doesn't work, well, natural selection will do what natural selection does best. In short, I shouldn't say that, that's rude. I can't call mambas short, they might take offense to that. Anyway. To summarize, black mambas are large, agile, and fast-moving snakes that have a super potent, fast-acting venom. And on top of that, they tend to overdo it with the danger juice. Now, for some reason, there are people out there that have decided they want a black mamba as a pet. I would recommend getting a black mamba as much as I would recommend getting a ticket on Ocean Gate's Titan submarine.
What do you mean by that?
If you don't get that reference, I'm going to assume that you live a peaceful life, blissfully unaware of the tragedies around you. If you've gotten to this stage of the video, you're probably mildly terrified of black mambas, but it's not all doom and gloom. Black mambas are actually a very shy species and they prefer to avoid people. If you encounter one in the wild, they're far more likely to slither away than to strike at you. If you corner them, they'll hiss at you, flatten their neck into like a faux hood, and flash that black mouth of theirs. Usually biting is their very last defense, and if you've been bitten, it's because you wouldn't leave them alone. Whether you like it or not, black mambas are an important part of the ecosystem because they actually help to keep rodent populations at bay. Ratatouille may have led you to believe that rats are clean and they can cook your food, but unfortunately rats spread disease, aka the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death, which killed millions of people in Europe. So black mambas are not just necessary for the ecosystem, they're also important for our well-being. I mean, we barely handled the vid well, so can you imagine if we didn't have black mambas to keep diseases at bay? If anything, I think we should be grateful for their contribution to society. Speaking of contributions, researchers have found that black mamba venom can actually be used for painkillers. There's some sort of compound in their venom that I can't pronounce that is as effective as morphine but with less side effects. So aside from keeping rodent populations at bay and preventing Black Death 2.0, the venom can also be used to create effective painkillers. Now for some black mamba folklore. Black mambas are found in southern Africa, including KwaZulu-Natal, the land of the Zulus. In Zulu culture, Ndlondlo is a mythical snake that is said to be an incredibly large and lightning-fast black mamba with a feather on its head. Ndlondlo is said to move so fast that the feather on its head makes a whistling sound. But this black mamba isn't just fast, it's cunning. Legend has it that Ndlondlo would often hide in a bush while crying like a baby, and when a passerby comes to investigate, it attacks. The origin of this myth is unknown, but some Zulus believe that Ndlondlo may have something to do with King Shaka. If you didn't know, King Shaka was a Zulu monarch that reigned during 1816 to 1828. During King Shaka's reign, he and his warriors would wear headgear that had a large feather on it. Now, King Shaka and his warriors were fearless, and it is believed that their reputation was passed on to the Black Mamba, eventually giving rise to the myth of Ndlondlo. Thankfully, no such snake exists because we'd all be screwed. Also, Mambas aren't into accessorizing. They have a reputation to maintain because, unfortunately, honey badgers and mongoose like to gobble them whole. Okay, that's not true. That's not true at all. They don't gobble them whole. They do gobble them, but they don't gobble them whole. I don't want you thinking that there are honey badgers and mongoose out there slurping black mambas up like noodles. That's not happening. They do eat them, though. So they need to maintain a reputation, and they need to look serious, and they need to look threatening. Anywhoosies, that wraps up today's lesson. Hopefully you have a little bit more respect and appreciation for black mambas, and if not, hopefully you avoid them. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel, because it supports a starving child in Africa. It's me. I'm the starving child. Okay, I'm not starving, that's an exaggeration, but please subscribe, okay? Bye, my fellow loons!